In this video, I'm going to be modeling for you how to plan for success criteria. And I'm going to do that using this success criteria development sheet, which you'll also be using to plan for your success criteria. The first task on this sheet is to answer the question, what task am I using to assess mastery? And the task that I'm going to be using is a worksheet on answering an ACE question. It's based on the poem Dreams by Langston Hughes. And so it asks for an ACE answer to the question in the poem, what message is the author conveying about dreams? So I'm going to copy and paste that. And then here I will put an ACE answer to the question. So now I'm ready to move on to the next part. And it says, how would I, the expert, complete this task? And in parentheses, it says, actually complete the task. So I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to do it on my actual worksheet. So I'll just type C attached here. And then I'll go over to my worksheet and actually complete this assignment. So the question is, in the poem, what message is the author conveying about dreams? So I'll read the poem. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. So the answer to my question, what message is the author conveying, would be the message that the author is conveying that you cannot live life as intended, or that life will be unfulfilling if you allow your dreams to die. Okay, so then the next part, I have to cite, and I know that in order to cite, I'm going to provide text evidence for my text, and I need to make sure to introduce the text using a sentence stem. So I know that I provided my students already with a list of sentence stems that are not on this page, but you might want to make sure you have that when you present to students. So going back into my model, I'm going to write, this is seen in the text when it states, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. And I'm going to do it exactly how I want my students to do it. Since there's no page numbers, I'll just put my citation. All right. And so then the last part, of course, is the elaboration. And I want to elaborate properly. This is important, using the sentence starter again, because a field is meant to grow things and be productive. If it is frozen, it can't do that. If life is without dreams being met, it will be just like that frozen field. So now that I have completed the task, I want to ask myself, what are the characteristics of my work that are essential to a complete answer or task? So I'm going to look back at the worksheet that I completed where I did my ACE answer, and I'm going to look at just what makes this answer correct. So the first thing I see is that I wrote the answer using part of the question as a sentence stem. So that will be my first bullet point. Okay, the next thing I did is I answered the question, and it does actually need to be correctly answered here. So that will be the next piece of criteria that I add to my list. If I go to the C part, it actually says here on the C that I need to provide text evidence. So, and I need to make sure to use a sentence stem. So first I'm going to make sure that I use a sentence stem as part of my criteria. And then I have my text evidence. So provide text evidence would be the next part of the criteria that I'm looking for. And the text evidence actually needs to support the answer to the question. So this text evidence needs to match up too. And the last thing I had here was I made sure to have a citation which included the author's last name. Now we're ready to go to the E. This also needs a sentence stem. And then the elaboration needs to support why or explain why I used the text evidence that I did to go with the answer to my question. So now I have completed success criteria for my particular task. So now that I have completed the characteristics of my work that are essential to complete an answer to my ACE question, I want to check over and make sure that this is absolutely what's going to show that students have met success for that particular task. Once I've done that, I can take the information here and use it as my finalized success checklist. Here you can also provide a rubric or anything else that gets the students to show the mastery, the success of their task. And since I like to use a checklist, I'm going to change my bullets into these square check boxes that I would use to see that students have successfully completed the task. And now you know how to complete success criteria.